Okay, are we here? Gosh, I'm still making notes. Jesus Christ. Come on. Oh, need to have a sip of tea. You can go and start. Has the meeting started? All right. The meeting has started, guys. I can see you chatting away already using the chat. Welcome. Good evening. 9th of July. Another Wednesday evening webinar, 8 o'clock. My name is Erik. Do I have something there? Let's take this away. All right. My colleague is just making sure we have a nice background. Last time we had a curtain, but it made things freaking hot here. And it's again very hot, maybe in your place as well. Especially here in the studio, we've got a lot of lights, right? So it's a bit like a Hollywood studio kind of setup. A lot of lights on the whiteboard, a lot of lights on me. You normally see me wearing a blazer. I'm not gonna do that tonight. So welcome everybody. My name is Erik. It's great to be here again. We're gonna do a 1-hour webinar tonight. It's gonna be on motivation. And we're going to actually do a deep dive into what is it exactly that lacks motivation? What is that factor that holds you back, that holds you down, that keeps you kind of like not in the mood, not really motivated, and how we can actually do something about this. Now, as you guys can see, the chat is wide open. I see there's a lot of people already here tonight on Zoom. We're also on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. So welcome everybody. It's great to have you. Very, very curious, where are you from? And maybe you would also like to share what actually brought you to this webinar tonight. So let's do a quick tour, and maybe it's nice to, just by means of introducing ourselves, put something in the chat. Where are you from? I guess a lot of you guys are from the UK. Maybe some people here are from Ireland. And but let us know, where are you from? And maybe you had a specific reason to come and join this webinar tonight. Is it because you lack motivation? Just quickly, do you actually pick up the sound? Am I loud and clear? Just have a question there. Syria, wow, Ireland, okay, all clear, beautiful. Another Ireland there. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Algeria, wow, beautiful. Okay, the UK, Norwich, from Belgium, nice. Okay, from Algeria, from Poland, okay, nice, guys. All right, now, any specific reason for you to come and attend this webinar? Is there any specific reason that you wanted to be here? Okay, I have a problem with self-sabotage due to past trauma. All right. Thank you, Artem. We're actually going to go into that tonight. So I hope you're going to get some answers there. Okay, sound is okay. Using headphones, beautiful. Thank you very much for letting me know. Any other reason why you are here tonight, why you're attending this webinar? Right, Cornwall, UK, struggling with past trauma. Got it. PTSD, war. Okay, I get you. Sorry to hear that. So already we have a bit of a common denominator here, right? Which is that past experiences temper with our motivation, temper with our energy, right? Temper with our spirit of play, perhaps, like life energy, these kind of things. Okay, good. Can't leave my bed. Motivation level is under 0. I totally get you. All right, now let's just get started and clear up the word itself. It's interesting. A lot of English is actually coming from either Greek or from French or from Latin. It's got a lot of Latin influence. Motivation as well. So the origin of the word is actually Latin. And it comes from movere. Or movere, whatever its pronunciation is. You right away see the word move. And that is the meaning of the word, which is to move. Or to push away. So, when you're motivated, well, you start to move things, right? You start to push things away. You actually start to go into action. That is the whole thing. So, quick question for you. What is the first thing you think you absolutely need to know first before you even can get motivated? So what is that one thing that you need to have very clear, that you need to know for yourself? What is the one thing that you need to know before anything will motivate you at all? What do you think that could be? I'm going to let you ponder on that just for a moment. I'm going to wipe the board in the meantime. There's something that you need to know. Something that you need to know before you can actually get motivated at all. So what would that be? Wow. Look the answers. Okay, a goal or a focus. All right. What I will get at the end. Exactly. All right. Whether it's worth doing it. I tried purpose, setting goals, etc., and nothing. All right. So, the number one thing that you need to have is a goal. That's the number one thing. You could see that in persons who have a lot of drive, who get a lot of things done. They have a pretty clear vision where they're going at. They're very motivated to reach those goals because they have them inside. And maybe when you went to primary school, you heard these other kids saying, "Oh, I want to be with the fire brigade. I want to be a policeman like my dad. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a surgeon." But there was something there that they could already envision, something there that they wanted to attain, to reach, had a certain goal in mind. So, quick question. Have you ever had the idea that you didn't really have direction in life? Let me know something in the chat about that. Did you ever have the idea that you were lacking direction in life? Didn't really know what direction to go into? Okay, lost compass. Yes, yes. All right. That was terrible for me when I was in engineering school. I was doing my education, and I was trying to pick up languages. I was trying to pick up engineering. I was trying to pick up economics. And I was still lost. I couldn't find it. I said, man, I'm clueless. I have no idea what to do with my life. I think right now, with everything that's going on planet Earth, gosh, it's hard, right? It's hard. So I think eternally I struggle with believing in myself. Although I tell myself I do, I was always told that I can't do something. Started telling myself the same thing and struggled to change that belief. All right, thank you very much. We're going to tackle this tonight. So, what's happening here, really, if you would sketch it out, let's say you wouldn't have any real direction. Yeah. You could actually say, well, you're going in all kinds of cardinal directions, right? You get something like this. Ever seen that? Going in all directions, kind of like at the same time in your life? You don't really generate any power. You somehow like change. It's okay, well, let's try this. oh, now let's do something else, and oh, I'm not sure, maybe I should do that. But there's no power behind it. You cannot really generate any force, because all these things are essentially question marks. And do I really want to do this? Or is that just a fluke, a sudden idea that I have that I want to do that? And in the next moment you say, oh, no, let's go in that direction. You could probably see that, right? So the first thing, in order to get motivated at all, that thing is so super important. Now, we're living on planet Earth, right? And it's all about the freaking money. And it's damaging. It is damaging us. Because right now, it seems like the only goal that we're supposed to pursue is making money or having it. So, you gotta pay the rent, you gotta pay your bills, the utilities, right? The transportation, your insurances, your food, what have you. But let me ask you a question. Let's just put the money aside, right? Let's put the money aside. What would you like to do if you didn't need any money? Maybe you can just write that down for yourself. If you have a piece of paper with you, pen, piece of paper, what is it that you would like to do if money was not important, if money was not part of the equation? What would you like to do? Would you like to coach kids in sports? Would you like to be a volunteer? Would you like to go on a trip? Would you like to travel? What is that thing that you would really like to do? Money wasn't part of the equation. I could also rephrase that question. What is it that you would absolutely do for free because you enjoy it? What would that be? What would you be willing to do just for free because you enjoy it so much? All right, travel, have a family. All right. Now let's have a look at what kind of an activity leaves you with fulfillment. What are the things that you have done or that you maybe still do that will just give you a lot of fulfillment, right? And if you look at these things, you might actually already zero in a little bit on your life's purposes, things that you enjoy, things that you like to do. These are on your goal lines. These kind of activities are there on your goal lines. And the reward of those activities is the fulfillment, is the joy, is the feeling that you did something worthwhile. Maybe that you contributed something to people, whatever. Yeah, but that was somehow in alignment with your goal. There was something there that got you motivated. That you would do again and again and again, simply because of fulfillment, and you would enjoy that. All right, so now it could just be that you didn't have any answer for yourself yet. Right? So I asked you those questions. What would you be willing to do for free? What kind of activity really leaves you with fulfillment and joy? It can just be that you don't have an answer just yet. That's all fine. So a little bit later, we're going to talk about the mind, and we're going to have mental blocks. Yeah? Just like, for example, let's say when you have to speak in public, and all of a sudden you go blank. You go, what was I going to say? It's just a kind of like a barrier there that prevents you from looking into your memory. You kind of like seem to have forgotten. So, but it can actually be found. So your real goal, your true purpose in life can actually be found. And I'm going to show you a technique for that tonight. But first, let's say if we do have that goal, we're going to get a bit of a different picture here. So let's say we tick the box, right? We do know what we want. Now we get this. We go into a straight line. We have direction. So that's the first thing, really, that you need to have. Like I said, we're on planet Earth. Life will throw so many things at you. We easily get overwhelmed. We easily get confused, and we actually lose sight of the things that we really, deep inside, want to do. Okay, now, let's say you do have a goal. Let's just have the assumption, okay, you do have some goals, maybe some bigger ones, maybe some smaller ones. Doesn't really matter. But you can think of a number of goals. You want to have a family, you want to have a house, you want to travel, maybe you want to do something for society, maybe you want to help children, maybe you want to help the elderly. It could be any kind of thing, whatever gives you joy, fulfillment, and meaning to life itself. Maybe it's knowledge, maybe it's wisdom, maybe it's teaching, whatever, right? Now, let's say you do have something in mind. Now, right away, when you want to go in a certain direction in life, that means we now have to do things. If we want to achieve something, that means we need to do something. All right. Now, have you ever had this thought? A thought like, I'm not good enough. I can't really do this. I'm not really cut out for this. I'm just not good enough. I can't do this. Have you ever seen that in yourself? These thoughts. You had that feeling of yourself, I'm not good enough. I can't really do that. I'm not cut out for this kind of activity or job or whatever. Every day, yeah? Okay, so that happens. Now, that's it's an interesting thing, because you actually want to do something. Your mind is now telling you something different. That goes right in the opposite direction. We just think about it, it's a bit strange. It is like you want to talk, but you feel you have to be shy. Or you want to be confident, but you feel very insecure. There's like a conflict in the mind, right? So we're actually going to address that very, very soon. Now, before we get there, I want to ask you this. So let's say you reach a certain goal. Now, just like any game, you can play cricket, you can play tennis, you can play soccer, you can play the game of life, you can also play the game called work, right? And all of these games, they have goals. With work, most likely, for a lot of people, it's money. At the end of the month, I'm going to have my money. Some people also play for the game. I'll be super happy if I close this customer. Be very proud of myself if I design that piece of machinery, whatever it is. Maybe a medicine, maybe an IT program. So, but you can play any kind of game. Now, if we reach that goal, would you normally associate that with freedom? In other words, if you reach something, do you associate that with freedom? Let's say, if I only had a house, I'd finally be free. I no longer have to live with my parents. I can finally have my own room, be free, relax, not be disturbed by other people. Or if I would just have a motorbike, if I would just have that, achieve to get one, I could finally zigzag my way through the traffic. My time would really free up. You get the concept that when you reach a goal, it means a kind of a freedom, right? Does that make sense to you guys? And actually, you can actually get the recording, Ken. Yes, we're recording it. Yeah? All right, good. So, when we reach a goal, that's like freedom. So let's just take a soccer game. The whole idea is to win the match. What would that give these players? Well, I give them maybe a bonus, more freedom. Now they get the trophy. They can show off, we're the best. It's like more freedom. Maybe they get some extra days for rest, more freedom. Maybe they get specific rewards, means freedom, right? Maybe there are chances to be promoted to another division. It's improved, more freedom. So whenever you reach that goal, we feel like there's more freedom. Okay, good. So we get that idea. All right, yeah, I made it. Yippee! I reached my goal. Makes sense, yeah? Makes sense. Now, here's the thing. In order to attain that freedom, like I said, we need to do things. But that also means that we need to go into action, handle life, handle people, handle machinery, handle time, handle space, all these things. In other words, we're going to run into barriers. Right? In order to achieve something in life, we actually have to overcome barriers. Just like the guy that plays soccer, well, he actually has to pass by the defenders and the keeper in order to score that goal. Right? He has to overcome those barriers in order to attain that freedom. So any kind of activity in life, any kind, really has like an end result to it, a certain goal, and always some kind of an obstacle, or some obstacles to handle. Now, what do we do with, well, I could say, what do we do in human thinking and our human behavior? What is it? What is it that we tend to focus on more? What takes more of our attention? Is it the freedom that we focus on more, that we stare at, look at? Or is it the barriers that we focus on more? What is actually grabbing more our attention? What keeps us mentally busy? Is it the attainment of freedom, or is it the running into barriers? The barriers. All right, you got that. You got that. Okay, now, thank you very much, guys. You've probably seen this. You've probably seen this in life. Every time that you kind of knew what you wanted, and when you actually overcame some barriers, you had this yes feeling. I could do it. I could do it. At that moment, you actually felt happiness. Because that's exactly what happiness is. Happiness is the overcoming of barriers on your way to achieving a goal. Because here, I want to be with you for a second, because here, you know that when you achieve that goal, you're going to attain that freedom. But that freedom is not there for you unless you're going to tackle these barriers. That makes sense. So, all right. Thank you. Pavel is actually following you guys in the chat, and he's actually pointing out things to me. What is the definition of a barrier? Somebody actually asked. Very good question. Thank you for asking that question. I appreciate it. What is a barrier? A barrier is just something that stops you. Just something that stops you. You're driving on the motorway, there's a roadblock. That's a barrier. You can't go any further. So, let's say you have an upcoming job interview, right? Now one of the barriers could be, okay, well, I somehow have to convince this recruiter that I'm going to be the best man. So it's like you're having a no, but you can turn it into a yes if you do a good job, right? The no is already there, but it's mostly there in our mind. In our mind, let's say we had a past failure, there was this job that we really wanted, and they didn't take us. You didn't get hired. It sticks with you, sticks like glue with you. Well, your mind next time will tell you, okay, I might just fail at doing this again. It might not work because it didn't work last time. So you put a mental barrier there, even before getting started. But what might be a motivating thought is that when you just sketch out the whole thing for yourself, like what is the goal actually I have in mind? What is the freedom that I want to attain? What kind of actions, what kind of steps do I need to do, barriers to take, so to speak, in order to attain what I want? And now every time you make little steps on your way by overcoming barriers, handling people, putting out of the way difficulties, all kinds of things, every step of the way is going to make you more happy because you're on your way to the attainment of your goal. Now, so here's an interesting thing, because we could also replace this word barriers for problems. For problems. Okay, so how does that work? Well, maybe you've heard some people say, well, it cannot be done because of. It cannot be done because of this, and it cannot be done because of that. And that whole project is simply impossible because of. Sometimes it might be your own mind that you say, well, it can't be done because I'm not trained to do this. It can't be done because I lack the experience. It can't be done because I feel insecure. It can't be done because I'm too shy. I lack the social skills. Whatever you come up with, this is the very thing we want to handle. Just want to check with you that if we replace that word barriers, yeah, we want to attain that goal, that we just see problems. It's just problems, you know, life is one big problem almost. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. See? You guys are responding. Like the social skill. Got me. All right. Good. Thank you very much. Now, something can be done about it. I can tell you this. Okay. Now, here's an interesting, very, very interesting thing to look at. Because life made you change. Do you recall when you were small, you were little, that you didn't see a world full of problems? got your scooter, or you got your soccer ball, or you got your badminton racket, or whatever, and you got together with your friends, and they said, let's play a game. You didn't really think in terms of problems, did you? You were just spontaneous. So something along the line has changed you. That's where what we want to take a look at. Now, this whole problems, barriers, there's an opposite for problems, and that would be solutions. So you'll see that some people actually have a tendency to think with problems, whereas other people have a tendency to think in solutions, right? Now you have all that competence in you to think in terms of solutions. Maybe that's not happening right now in your life, but you actually have a great deal of competence in you. So we need to find out what it is that's holding you back, that is limiting you, so we can actually use that power, that competence. So let's say if we would just draw a scale. Let's say somewhere in the middle, let's say thinking in problems, thinking in solutions, it's kind of like 50-50. That is to say, the person can handle certain problems in life and find solutions for them. And there's other things in life that he's just stuck in. He keeps procrastinating, and he's like, I don't know how to solve this. He just sees bears on the road, doesn't really see a solution. So he can handle certain things in life, he can't handle certain things in life. If it goes more sour, well, the solution's kind of like going to drop out, and he's just going to see problems, and even more problems the more he goes down. If he would go further down, he would feel completely overwhelmed. Right? Now, if you look at planet Earth today, they'll throw so much at you. Income taxes, regulations, can do this, must do that. Drives you nuts. A lot of people, for logical reasons, feel really overwhelmed. Now, we would go up on that scale. Well, a person will gradually start to find solutions, more solutions. At some point, he feels completely free. He feels completely free to do whatever. It's no longer these imaginary barriers and problems. And that's actually where you should be. There's no reason why we can't be there. So, I guess you can see yourself somewhere on that scale, right? So now I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to wipe out that thing here. But do you remember that? Let's say, can you remember one of these moments in your earlier life when you were a kid? Life was just so pleasant. It was just so pleasant. No real barriers. You could play with your friends, had a lot of fun, and no problems. You were just initiating and playing the game. Can you remember such a moment? When I was lost in reading my books. Okay. Okay, that's good. Pretty cool. All right, now, how do we get from there, from all that freedom, motivation, enthusiasm, a lot of life energy? Mommy gave you one sandwich and you could run on it the whole day, right? One sandwich, an apple, a glass of milk, and you just kept playing the whole day. There's that much energy that you had. So what happened that you were quite free and you started to see more and more problems in life, and less the ability to actually solve things quite easily? Something must have happened. Let's see what happened. Let's say we do another graph here. Let's say at a young age, you were quite happy. Okay, now you know that happy people normally don't see a lot of problems. They come up with solutions quite easily, right? But have you, for example, have you experienced any accidents or any surgeries or any bullying or losses of things or animals or people that were really dear to you? Have you actually experienced any major upsets in life? Any of these things? Bullying, accidents, loss of a finger, limb, I don't know, reputation, somebody ruined you mentally or physically, any of these things. Okay, yep. So what happened is this. You were happy, something happened, some kind of a major incident, something happened, and you crashed. You were no longer that happy as you were before. So now you start to operate on a different emotional level. You had a different vitality. Life wasn't that bright any longer as it was before. And you continued. Maybe you felt like, gosh, I need to rebound. I need to come back to where I was before. I want to be happy again. Somehow couldn't do it. Then something more happened. Something else happened in your life. Let's say a loss. Could have been a period of having been bullied in school or whatever. So once again you dropped. And you continued. Likewise, you wanted to rebound. Couldn't do it. That's how life actually throws things at us. So our mind is actually a recording machine. It records all these events. It's just like a VHS recorder. It's simply a recording machine. I'm going to give you an example very, very soon. It's a recording machine. The big failure is that it keeps these records and they make you feel stuck in them. So what happened, let's say here, clean slate, nothing going on. All of a sudden here, you started to accumulate some mental baggage. In that moment, that mental baggage became a bit more, became a bit heavier. Next one. Became heavier again. Now, the flow in the mind is to keep that stuff active all the time. That's what you don't want. And actually, that is something that can be handled. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Just having a look at this. Check the time. Okay, we still have 20 minutes. That's good. While you look at this, if I would ask you this question, if a certain period of your life, or if a certain incident in your life wouldn't have happened, would you be happier today? So if a certain period of your life, let's say where you had accidents or illness or losses or been bullied, or a certain instance like a surgery or like an accident or whatever, these things wouldn't have happened in your life. Would you be happier today? It's true, yeah? Okay. It's very true. So, what's happening here? I'm just reconnecting here, Pavel. Maybe you can help me. So basically, yeah, that just tells you that we actually get stuck. We get stuck in these moments. Now, quick question. What do you think? If you would have had that happiness that you had as a child, would it be easier to solve problems? So if you would simply be happier, would it be easier to solve problems? To not see these barriers in the mind? Exactly, yes, because there's no negativity. Yeah, very true. So let's find out quickly how that works. Yeah. So like I just said, the mind is a recording machine. It's fascinating. And maybe you've been told that it's very hard to understand. Well, you're going to find out it is actually super easy to understand. It's really easy to understand. It was so easy, it's been completely overlooked. So, what I would like you to do, just as a demonstration, I want you to think back of, let's say, primary school. Just think for a moment of primary school. Do you see the playground? Can you get a picture in your mind of the playground? And if you get that playground, did it have a fence? Did it have trees? Did it have bushes? Where was the entrance? Where was the exit? What did the school, the actual building, what did that look like? What was the color of the building? What was the material? Now let's just have a look at one of the classrooms, just one of the classrooms. Can you get a picture again of, let's say, where was the blackboard? Where were the windows? Where's the door? Who got some pictures here? Yeah, very good. Okay, we're getting some pictures, yeah? All right, good. That's your mind. Your mind is a recording machine. Yeah, just keep that in mind. It's simply a recording machine. It's got all that stuff recorded. I'm going to go into the flaw of the mind just in a moment. So it's a recording machine. All right, now let's imagine you're sitting, I hope you're not in your kitchen right now, but let's imagine that you're sitting in your kitchen. If you would be sitting in the kitchen, then let's just imagine that you're sitting in another kitchen, not this house, but a previous house. So I would like you to imagine that you're sitting on your chair in the kitchen. Just get that for a moment, right? Now, from where you're sitting, I would like you to point at the cooker. Just point at it for yourself by means of a drill, an exercise. Come on, I'm sitting here, all right, the cooker is right there. Now, where's the fridge? Okay, well, the fridge is right there. Where's the nearest window? Over here. Where's the table? Right there in front of me. Where's the door? There. Can you do that? Can you actually point out these things about you in space? Yeah, good. That tells you these pictures, these recordings that we have, they're actually three-dimensional. These are three-dimensional pictures. Now, what is the crux here is that we cannot really touch these pictures. These are not Polaroid, not printed pieces of photographic paper. These are mental pictures, not physical ones. So that is a bit harder sometimes to actually see what it is that we're looking at. When we think of something, we're actually looking at these pictures in a mental way. You're actually looking at these recordings. All right, now, so how do you use that mind? Well, let's say you come home. Let's say you come home and you drop your keys on the table. Now you go to room 1, then you go to room 2, you go to room 3. You look at your watch, oh gosh, I actually need to do some shopping. Let's put my coat on and let's rush out. Oh, hang on. Let me check for my keys. You don't have your keys in your pockets. What are you going to do? Are you going to go back to room 1, room 2, room 3? Or are you just going to wait for a second and say, hey, let's have a look at my recording machine. Let's get a picture. And you actually get a picture. Now the picture will tell you, I got home and I put it on the table. That's how you use your mind. Make sense? Let's have a look at the recording machine. Exactly. Let me see. I'm going to wipe something out. Do you like that, Joshua? Let's have a look at my recording machine. Cool. Good. So we got a picture that looks a bit like this. There's your body. We got a 3D picture there. It's a mental picture. So it's got no mass. You can't size it up. You can't put it on the scale. You can't weigh it. So you get the appearance there, there's nothing there. But at the same time, it seems to be there because you can actually experience it. All right, so we got a whole bunch of pictures that just simply go back into time, right? All right. Now, let me give you an idea of the flaw of the mind. Just get that idea. Maybe at some point you lost something. You lost a person, you lost a dog, an animal, a possession, somebody stole something from you, or a person just is no longer there, your favorite animal passed away. A loss. At some point you suffered a loss. We all did. I don't want to rub it in, but it's a common example in life itself. Now, what happens if you think back of the moment of loss? What happens? You feel sad. Exactly. All right? I guess that's true for all of us, right? You feel sad. Now, let me ask you, Dee and Joshua, do you want to feel sad? Do you actually want to feel sad? No. Both Dee and Joshua say no. Exactly. That is where the mind makes mistakes, because it's going to throw that stuff at you without your consent. Moreover, it's going to throw that stuff at you while you're not even knowing exactly what is happening. Now, when these things happen, we get that graph again. We start to lose vitality in life. So, a bit of a crude example, perhaps. Maybe at some point you have to speak in public. And you can really see how that mechanism works. Now your mind does something to you that you don't even want, but it will just throw it at you. You have to speak in public. You get a butterfly feeling in your stomach. You get a knot in your stomach. You start to transpire. Your legs start to shake. Maybe you got some paper in your hand, but you can't really hold it still. You get a dry throat. And then your mind goes blank. You go into this complete sabotage. And in a mild form, you might still be in that today. That is, you're somewhere there, you don't have that much vitality left in you, so you're constantly controlled by some kind of a force in your mind. Now, the quick answer here is that all that vitality is not gone. You simply carry it with you as a baggage. But the good news here is that the baggage can actually be deleted. And you can actually get all that vitality back again. Isn't that beautiful? You can actually undo that whole period of bullying. If you lost a limb, well, you're not going to get your limb back, but you could have lost your limb and your happiness. You can actually get the happiness back. You can actually, whatever baggage you have been accumulating, mental baggage, that can be cleaned up pretty fast. Right, now to give you a few more examples, just to make this thing a bit real. Whoever said, tell me more? Yeah, okay, D. I'll tell you more. Yes. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time, but I'm going to tell you some more. Yeah. So, first of all, the mind is a recording machine. We got that right. Now we got all these mental images. So imagine that you're just carrying around all these images with you. You kind of like just carry them with you like spiritually or mentally. They're not in your head because you didn't say the fridge is over here, the cooker is there, the window is here, the door is there. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not your brain. This is a mental thing, right? So now we're carrying all these pictures with us. We don't even know what we're looking at, but there's definitely something there that influences us. So if we find the right process to increase that awareness, just like looking at primary school, we can actually inspect the whole picture. What was discovered was that the painful content of the picture, like the emotional pain, the physical pain, that painful content could be cleaned up and it would no longer affect you in a negative way and pull you down. So the only flaw in this recording machine of the mind is that at some moment, something there is activated and just thrown at you. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say recently, this moment here, you found the job of your life. You said, damn, if I'm going to get this job, it's going to make me so happy. That's exactly what I want. And then that moment there, you went for the job interview, but for all kinds of reasons, you didn't get hired. You had your hopes really high, but then when you got the notice, the whole thing crushed. You lost all your hope. So it's a loss, right? Essentially, to you, that was a big loss. So you got that moment there. Maybe you were even in grief. Maybe you were even sad about it. Maybe you even drew a conclusion. At that point. All right? So now let's say that was, let's say, a few months ago. Now we are in present time. PT, present time. We are on our way to a job interview very similar to this one. We're sitting in the chair there with a recruiter. That job interview, well, likewise, again, is very important to you. What are the chances? Is that moment here somehow going to interfere at this point? Is that going to interfere? Is that previous unsuccessful action, is that going to interfere in present time? Curious about your answers. What do you think? Yes, it will give that flashback. Seeing it in an image is wild. That's very deep. Yeah. But like I told you, it's very simple. Yeah. Maybe it's very deep, but it's very simple. That thing will just come in between. It's going to be activated. The content, the conclusion is going to be activated again and now affect you. You might actually have lost all your motivation even before going into the interview. That is where your mind makes mistakes, because it throws that stuff at you without your consent. When you are shy, you don't really want to be shy, but there's something there forcing you to be shy. When you're insecure, you don't want to be insecure, but there's something there forcing you to be insecure. When you don't know what to say, that isn't because you don't know. There's something just going blank. Or what was I going to ask or say? It's because something there forces you to behave that way. You already lose motivation before perhaps even getting started, or it just kicks in at a certain point. That's where the mind makes a mistake. It's a recording machine, but then the bad experiences are also recorded, and every time when you're in a kind of like a similar situation, you do this flashback. But since these pictures are not tangible, you do a flashback, not really knowing what you're looking at. It throws that stuff, that emotion at you, that insecurity, and you just feel the same way all over again. Make sense? makes some sense, guys? Obviously, there's many more examples, yeah? Yeah? Okay. So, that all makes sense. All right. Now, there's a lot to learn on that subject. The beauty is this, that, let's say, we're carrying a lot of that stuff with us. We have losses, we have suffered from bullying, we've had our upsets and disagreements, and then we have accidents, and all that stuff is just pulling us down. And kind of like it's all there, and it's all working against you, holding you back, limiting you, reducing your motivation, reducing your life energy. Yeah? So there's something that can be done about it. Let me just see. I think I had a poll here. Do you have a poll by any chance, Pavel? Or do I have it? Oh, okay, good. No, that's fine. Let me see. Guys, I'm sometimes a bit disorganized, do things very, very last minute, just busy. What? Because I want to give you something. I want to give you something that you can use in your life. Knowing that stuff, Jesus Christ, has helped me so much. And especially cleaning up these bad experiences in life. You have no clue what kind of a liberation and freedom that will give you. It's just fantastic. So it's actually done a lot for me. Now, the first thing I want to offer you, and we're actually just gonna do a poll here. There's a little poll, a little survey. Yeah, can you put up the poll? Yes, all right. Is it coming into this onto the screen? Because if it's coming onto your screen, that's fine. I'm just talking to my colleague right now. Now it's popping up on my screen. So let me just elaborate a little bit on what I would like to share with you. So what I'm doing tonight, I'm doing this as a volunteer. Let me see if I can put myself in the camera. Yeah, I need to go here. All right, that's good. Cool. So I'm doing this as a volunteer, just for the fun of it. It's my goal, right? It's my personal goal. It's not to get any financial gain or whatever out of it. I just love to share my passion. I love to share knowledge. I've been doing that, I don't know, for the last 15 years or so. In the past, I worked as an engineer. I've been in sales for a long time. I worked for a big company. And right now, this is my passion. That gives me fulfillment. I like to help. It's my way of, let's say, building a better world, right? We just become, yeah, motivation, yeah. Help each other, help one another to be more motivated. So what I would like to offer you is a free personality test. And it's actually a brilliant one. It is zeroing in on the exact area in your life or in your personality that keeps you down, that holds you back, that limits you. And then what I want to do is I want to show you a tool or whatever tools that you can use, even free stuff that you can find online, to dig yourself out of it, right? So if you like that, right now we're not with too many. I think it's like 30, 40 people. So I definitely have time. I'm gonna have a whole weekend coming up where we can do lots of calls, meet each other, have nice phone calls, get to know one another, have nice chats. So I'll be very happy to give you your test results and give you a short recommendation. That is what the poll is for. So there's 3 questions there. It says, number 1, please send the personality test link to my email or mobile. If it's a mobile, I love to be in touch with you on the phone. Usually actually explain these tests on the phone. It takes about 15-20 minutes, and you have a really good idea about the result of your test, where you're standing, yeah, and what you can do. So that works best, but then your mobile has to have a WhatsApp number. So I can actually send that test to your WhatsApp number, right? If not, we can still send a graph with a few lines to an email. And then the third question is that if you want to be contacted, then let me know when you could be available. Cool? So if you like the idea, it's just a free thing that I'm offering to you. You can actually do a free test. It's online. It takes about half an hour to do. You get a very, very accurate test. It's going to show your social skills. It's going to show your responsibility, your activity levels, your managerial skills. It's going to show your regard for yourself. How happy are you? Are you actually attaining your goals? How's your focus, your mindset, your calmness, all these things. It's all going to pop up. Yeah. Good. No worries about the name of the site. We're just going to send that to your email, because I don't know it by heart, actually. The next thing, and I think we can end off the poll here. I think probably you also have the link for the book. Yeah, good. So the next thing I want to offer you is a book. And what we covered here tonight is a snippet, just a snippet, not even 1%, that is actually coming out of this book. Can we end the poll? Oh, it's still on my screen. Oh, you ended the poll already. All right. So I'm just going to hold up this book here. People are still entering. Okay. All right, guys. I'll bear with you. I'll have some tea in the meantime. Then if the QR doesn't work, we need to figure it out. Okay. QR not work. All right, Ken, noted. We're going to print the transcript, so in case that it doesn't work, we'll contact you. No worries. You can put my phone in the chat as well. Paul is actually going to put my WhatsApp in the chat for you guys. In case you have any troubles, in case you want to contact me directly, please do so. And then I could send you a link directly from my WhatsApp. Zoom recording, could you post it at Meetup? Yeah, okay. Pavel says yes, tomorrow, because after the webinar he has to rush out. That just reminds me we actually need to bring this whole thing come to an end of, because my colleague actually needs to run. Can we end the poll, please?
Yeah, we end the poll.
Nice. Goodbye. Let's get it out of the screen, because I keep seeing it in my screen. Let's see if I can actually. Right. Okay, good. Now, brilliant. All right. Last but not least. Okay, got a very, very special offer for you. This whole thing here is excellently penned down in this book. It's called Dianetics, Modern Science of Mental Health. It's the only book on planet Earth that has been a bestseller for all these years that it's been in publication. And it's the only book on the mind. It tells you what the mind is. It tells you how the mind works, how it holds you back, how it limits your potential, and how you can completely free up that potential again, clean up all that basically bad stuff that you have been accumulating. And what is special? So it comes as a book. It's a very unique book. It's got its own glossary, which is to say, it's got its own dictionary in the back of the book. Let's say you read Mount Everest. Oh, never heard of Mount Everest. You just look it up in the back. It's very simple. The first part of the book is all about what is the mind, how does it work. The second part of the book is all about the therapy, is all about how do I clean up all that stuff and how do I actually get back to my normal vitality and beyond. We're tossing in, for anybody who wants to have a copy, we're actually tossing in for the same price an audiobook plus an ebook. It comes with its own app, so maybe you don't have time reading the book, but then you're washing the dishes and you can actually listen to your audiobook. Maybe actually you want to read the book on your phone. So it's like 3 books in one for a very special price. I think my colleague actually put the price there because it was probably 20 euros. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. Maybe it's not for you. Why do I say that? Because this is actually for people who want results. This is for people who want immediate results. If you're like that, definitely get yourself a copy. Pavel, you had something to say, I think. Exactly. That's what so thank you. I already brought that up, but actually he reiterated again for me. That book, yeah, it can actually help you to clean up, yeah, all these bad situations, and actually cleans up that automatic feeling and that automatic behavior that comes in every time, yeah, and makes you behave in ways that you don't want. In other words, it's a book not just on the whole recording machine, but also how do you clean that part of that automatic recording machine that throws these things at you, changes your mood, right? Puts you in a bad shape, and then gets you nowhere. How do you handle that? It's fascinating. Okay, guys, I think I took more than enough of your time. It's almost 9:15. Any questions before we end off? Pavel always has questions, he says. He says they have questions too. So, all right, if you have any questions, let me know. You have my... Is the book posted to the UK? Absolutely. Good question, D. Yes, absolutely, to the UK, free of charge, free shipping, and you can have it in any language. It's been translated in 50 languages. You can have it in Arabic. You can have it in Farsi. You can have it in Urdu. You can have it in German, Italian, French, English, you name it. 50 languages. All right? Okay, guys. I hope to hear back from you. I hope you enjoyed what we did tonight. I am certainly very happy having had this opportunity to share this information with you. Very happy with your comments in the chat, everybody chatting away. Seems like we had a good time together, didn't we? So I want to thank you for that. And I got one final remark for people who live in and around Dublin in Ireland. There is another group that we started on Meetup, which is called Tools for Life. Right now on Meetup, you're in Discover Your Full Potential, but we have an actual in-person workshop group, which is called Tools for Life. And if you're ever in Dublin 24 for a house, or if you do want to come, if you want to see us in person, if you want to participate in the workshops, please do join Tools for Life on Meetup. And that is every Tuesday. Okay? So once again, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of the evening. All the best. Hope to see you again. Bye for now.